Boom. Let me try that again, guys. Phenomenal, phenomenal morning. Listen, welcome to Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Shaan Rais, and we are about to change history, right? We are about to rewrite the narrative, change history. We've been doing this for quite some time, if you're not aware. Listen, we began to change the face of leadership, and now we're doing some things in branding, executive leadership, coaching, guys, that is absolutely going to change the narrative for everyone who is watching. For everyone who is watching. So listen, March 7th, we are launching yet another phenomenal segment within the Like a Leader framework, except this one is going to be speaking, using what God gave you, your natural talents and abilities and proficiencies, to be able to cultivate change through the use of your voice, closing massive deals for yourself and creating life-changing change. And I've got a phenomenal guest for you guys, right? You know, this is the second Saturday, so I do have a phenomenal guest for you guys. You know him well, you've seen him before. So when you see him, I don't want you to act surprised, and I don't want you to feel uncomfortable, because you know we try to keep the family atmosphere here. So I don't want anyone to, act like he's too on high to really relate to or be comfortable with, right? So with no further ado, if you could bring out the guest, Mr. B, it would be greatly appreciated. Let's grow. Hey.
What's up? Am I the guest? Am I this?
Yeah.
About
Yeah, guys, listen. I want you to see things a little bit differently. I want you to get all aspects, right? So as we've built out this Like a Leader framework, what we've been doing strategically in the background is supplying you with all of the skills that you need to create your influencer brand. That's what we've been doing. Business development. There's many different segments, many different talents, many different skills, many different proficiencies that you want to have in your business to be able to execute at a super high level. We've done the branding because you have to become a magnet in your marketplace. We've done the coaching because you have to know how to communicate. We've done consulting because you want to take that. Sometimes you want to take that communication from an individual one-on-one to what we call a B2C to a B2B, and take it from an individual to an organizational level, or a super high level, ultra luxury level of communication. We've also done closing because you have to have sales in your business. The conversion process, the conversion mechanism has to take place. It's absolutely imperative. And now we're going to do speaking, because if you cannot articulate your position, if you're not able to have meaningful messages that monetize in the marketplace, 4 M's, write that down. Meaningful messages that monetize in the marketplace, then you need someone else to be the face of your brand. Period. You need someone else to be the mouthpiece and the face of your brand, because if you can't speak, you need to find someone who can. If you can't speak, you can't eat. Because if you can't speak, you can't close. So when you open your mouth, you're closing. Write that down too. When you open your mouth, you're closing. And I wanted to bring someone here who would give us a little bit of insight on a different seat within the business. So Junior Frederick is the one who is mainly behind the copy and the messaging, right? Very rarely do I write an email, guys. Very rarely do I write an email because that's not my seat. You understand? You're not going to, okay, so let me say this first. You are not going to build your business successfully alone. It's not going to happen. You need a wingman. You're going to need a wingman. Those of you who want to be CEOs and want to be phenomenal leaders and want to have your own business, I want you to think of who is your number two. Who is your number two? Because your number two is going to be number one. Your number two is going to be number one. Before we get into the Q&A and we kind of flesh out what this looks like, we're going to go to a break. So yeah, Junior, I just wanted you to come in real quick so they could know what they're about to get and go get their extra shot of espresso, whatever they need to get ready, because you're about to find out what it truly takes to build a phenomenal business and brand. Let's go to that commercial. So let me add a little bit more context to this, right? If you're this is going to be an expose in real leadership and business development. That's what this is going to be about, right? So I want to welcome Charmaine, Jasmine. I see Jasmine says Junior had me close on a contract like a corner store during the pandemic. So I know he's fire. Bring that up real quick so the viewers can see and know that I'm not just reading this off the top of my head, right? Okay. So listen, guys, as a CEO, you're going to want to duplicate yourself. Or you're going to be under your business. You're not going to be in your business. You're not going to be on top of your business. You're going to be under your business if your leadership is not strong enough to duplicate the model, duplicate who you are. So In the very beginning, I was doing all of the closing. I was doing all of the copy, and it wasn't manageable. It's not going to be manageable for you either. So we had to require, good morning. We had to require, we had to acquire, right? We had to acquire because your business is going to require you to do too many things by yourself. It's impossible. Write that down. It's impossible for you to succeed in business by yourself. Write this down too. Business is a team sport. It's a team sport. So I wanted to put the spotlight on Junior because he's the captain of the team, right? He's the captain of the team. There's times that I'll have an idea and Junior will let me know, like, that's not the play for right now. And because he's in the day-to-day operations of the business, I'll have to pull back. I'll pull back. So as the CEO, you don't always lead the business. You assign that. You assign that to someone who has earned the ability to run the show while you build higher level and other relationships and opportunities for the business as the CEO. So Junior, I know it was a little long-winded, but I wanted to prepare them and give them some insight into, because people are building their businesses. So give a little bit of insight first. Welcome, right? Welcome. And give a little bit of insight into what you do. If you could minimize, if you could possibly like put it all together in succinct, what would that look like, brother?
What I do. Wow, that's a people always tell me this, right? People always tell me that that's a loaded question. Now I think I understand what they mean.
Good.
What I do, I want you guys, and first of all, good morning, everyone. I see we have Charmaine, Jasmine, Coach B, Amal. What I do is I want you to imagine. So there's a place at the top of America, right? North America, where you could see Russia. There's somewhere up there. When you look across the sea, you could see Russia. What I do, my team is moving towards Russia with no bridge, no boat, nothing. And we're moving to, because that's our goal. We're moving towards this goal. What I do is I'm building the bridge while we walk over the sea. That's what I do. So let me put it in that context for you. That's what that would be the best metaphor I could I could think of is really and truly building the actual physical substantial bridge that brings the vision into reality. That is what I do. That is what I do. So now that entails so many things that we could talk about it for the whole show. But put it in the chat if that example sort of paints the picture for, it sort of gives you a visual representation. And if you see the nuances, the difficulties of what this entails. So put that in the chat. But essentially, Shan, like if I had to answer that question, that's what I would say. It's like building a bridge. It's like moving towards a vision and literally just walking by faith and not by sight. But at the same time, there's somebody building the structure while you're moving towards that vision. So that's what I would say.
And guys, when he says by faith and not by sight, it's true because I'll tell Junior we have something to do and I won't look back at it. That's not my thing, to double check and triple check and micromanage. I don't do that. So I'll say, hey, Junior, we have this event coming. We have something we need to do tomorrow. And this is what I need. And I'm done with it. And tomorrow it's present. So I guess if we have to take the next steps, then when as the CEO, when I say we need to take these next steps, then it's by faith that I walk over the bridge or that part of the bridge that has been created. guys. So I promise you, this is going to be so valuable to you if you take what we're saying seriously as education and not just information. This is the part they don't teach, right? I've got a two master's degrees, two of them, as well as I'm all but dissertation and a PhD for organizational development and an EdD for leadership for change. And never once in there have I heard duplicate yourself. Never once. Never once. So what I'm going to give you is insight that you can only get from someone who's on this side of the business. It's absolutely imperative. And I want you to start the game with the end in mind. Wherever you're at in your business, I want you to start the game because it's not about just communicating. It's not about just the acquisition of clients. It's not just about releasing content or going live or writing the book or whatever stage of your business you're in. It's also about duplicating yourself in the process and finding phenomenal people that you can develop while you're still developing yourself. Not the easiest thing in the world, is it? When you hear it, especially when you're starting with a small budget and you don't have the kind of seven-figure salary or $500,000 to allocate to that position in your org chart. The same way we teach organic client acquisition is the same way that you have to think of organic leadership development. Right? So it's very, very imperative, very, very important that you get this because if you don't have it as an intention, it'll never be a reality. And you'll be stuck under what you think is a business, but what is really just a high-paying job. I want to show you something. So, Junior, on a day, in a day, let's say from 9 to 12. From 9 to 12, and don't read off the whole Bible list because I know it's huge, right? Don't give us the dissertation. Give us the short version or the bullet points of what you do during the early part of the day. Let's just say a regular day, not too crazy from 9 to 12.
Okay, well, let's see. On a regular day, I think the first thing I do is I start with have a team meeting, sales team. From there, we move, and that in itself is another.
Oh,
another
hold on. I'm sorry. Did you say there's a sales team? For
yeah,
those of you who are paying attention, thinking that you have to close every deal, snatch and grab. What did you say? Say that again, please.
I said a sales team. That's what I said.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Yes, so we have a meeting every day. The meeting is really a check-in. Um, you see, it's all about state management too. It's all about state management. So you have to be in the right state when you start your day, and you have to make sure that your people are in the right state. The community. So I look after the community. I'm always looking at, okay, what's going on? Does anybody need anything? What is the energy like? So that's typically how I start my day. I start my day by looking at the people. That's how I start my day. And then once that's good, then I might move into prospecting. So let me say this. Anybody here who's in business, you're in sales. You're in sales and marketing if you're in business. And you should really try to schedule your time out.
I'm sorry. You spoke a little bit fast. Sales and what?
Marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah. So anybody here, any business owners looking at this right now, you think I'll explain this, Shaan, the other day. People think, for example, let's say I'm in I don't know, let's say I'm a business consultant, I'm a coach, I'm a life coach. They think they're in the life coaching business. They think they're in the life coaching business. So, guys, what you're actually in is the selling of life coaching. You're in the selling of the life coaching business.
Mm.
if you're in health, if you're in motivation, if you're in whatever it is, you're not in that business. You're in the selling of that business. So you are in sales and you are in marketing. So I'm in the selling of.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to break it down on such a granular level for people, and I know we see it from an eagle's eye perspective,
Yes.
but for the person looking up's perspective who doesn't know what you're talking about, what is the difference between sales and marketing?
Okay, well, marketing. All right, let me break it down. Marketing would be, I want you to imagine, let's say a Starbucks, right? So marketing would be how you get them in the door. Sales would be how you collect the money. So marketing would be how you get them in the door, how you get attention, and sales would be how do you get that money. So that would
Okay.
be that's the simplest example. So for example, you're driving downtown, you see a billboard, it's advertising. The billboard catches your interest. You want to go in to find more information. You're going to find more information. Maybe it's a car. The car catches your interest. You walk into the dealership. You then greeted by a salesperson who then facilitates the transaction. So the billboard got you in the door. The billboard is marketing. The billboard is what we call media. So I always talk about the market, the media, the message. So the billboard is the media. Nowadays we have social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, etc. But the billboard is a form of media marketing, gets you in the door. And once you're in the door, somebody assists you and helps you to get what you need. So that would be the sales part.
All right. Thank you very much. Guys, write that down, digest that while we go to this short break, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. So if you're just coming in, welcome to Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host today, Shaan Rais, and we are interviewing and having a very, very strategic conversation with the operations sector of business, any business. We just happen to be talking about this business, but when I promise you this is every single business that exists. profitably. All right. So we left on the messaging, we left on the media, we left on getting them in the door. So now they're in the door. What takes place after that?
Well, now, okay, so that's an excellent question, Shan. So this is great because most people feel like they don't understand that there's a sales process, right?
Mm,
There's a process. So, guys, first and foremost, you have to make sales. Like sales is always the emergency. Sales is the lifeblood of a business. But once you get somebody's attention, you have to make an impression. You have to make a greeting. So there's a greeting. Then you move into fact finding. Then you assess their needs. But to make it simple, there's like 12 steps. But to make it simple, it's all about setting the appointment. So if you're a closer, you have to set appointments. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to put out content. You have to prospect.
mm,
Prospecting means that you have to
mm.
find potential people for your business, people who might be interested in your business. And the way that you prospect is you could prospect on social media, you could put out content that appeals to your audience, or you could get on the phone and make phone calls. So that's typically what takes place. If I'm not putting something out, or if I don't have an email going out, then I'm typically on the phone, following up with people that I may have spoken to last week, week before. Really and truly just seeing who I can help. That's it. You can
Ah,
see how many people you could help today.
key, key. Very good, very good. And I don't want to get everybody stuck on the sales process. That's why we have closing like a leader, right? So if you're
Yes.
interested in learning more about the sales process, the 12-step process, the prospecting, the attraction, the impression management, and the closing and the acquisition of more lifeblood in your business, which is sales, that's why we have closing like a leader. But go ahead, Junior. So after that part of the business, what's next?
Oh, after that part, I mean, there's several things. For example, there's different projects that's going on. So at any one point in time, there's like 10 things going on. So you have a funnel, maybe two funnels being built that we need to check on. Then you have email marketing. Then you might have so one of the clients getting their website done. You need to check on that. Then you have to prepare for presentations. So inside the leadership leverage, we do the action call. We also do the business development call. So you have to actually take time, put these slides together, right? So it's a lot of different things.
Hold on,
But
hold on. I'm sorry. When you say the action call, what is that?
oh man, the
When
action
you said the action call, the business development call, what are those?
those are group coaching calls where we teach entrepreneurs and professionals how to build their brands, but also how to take actionable steps towards doing anything that they need to do, whether it be generating more money, whether it be putting systems in place, having
But
more structure.
the general watcher
Right.
doesn't know where these exist and what these are. Like
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah, so these exist inside the leadership leverage executive coaching group. For anybody watching who doesn't know what that is a high level executive coaching program where we teach you how to duplicate what we've done, where we teach you how to take the steps, the step by step blueprint, step by step process to build a profitable and sustainable business. So that's what it is.
so you're saying that all we do is in breakfast with the brand and the leadership leverage community call at 7? The
This
free
is the
stuff?
easy part. This is the easy part. This is the easy part, guys. So let me tell you, this is free. This is free. But if you're serious and if you really want to, you know, get the like I know for me, I know you too, Shan. I go really like in depth. Like I on the action call, I actually um I open my screen, I will do the assignments, I will do the deliverables with the clients. So we'll
Mm.
be doing it together in class. At the end of that call, everybody has some kind of actionable item that they could act on. And I go into like I lift up the hood, I show them every single thing that I know. and I teach them how to do it. So we compress time, right? So they don't have to go through the headaches that we went through to figure this stuff out, because
Just
this stuff
for
costs money
clarity.
out.
I'm sorry. Just again for clarity.
Yeah,
So for the outside person looking in, we don't have to go too intricate into the details, but what you're basically saying is once they make a sale, they have to fulfill delivery of a
yeah, of
deliverable.
course.
I'm trying to understand because what we're doing is we're going over the
Yes,
different
yes.
business departments, and I
See,
don't.
I see.
You
All right.
understand? I don't want somebody to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
stuck
yeah.
on.
Let me break it down.
Yeah.
Let me break it down like that, guys. So you have to find somebody who's interested. You have to sell, and I'm using the word sell for a specific reason, because most people's idea of selling is sleazy, or selling is this, or selling is that. It's no, it's actually helping somebody. You can't help somebody if you don't sell something to them. But once you sell something to them, the legal, ethical, and moral thing is you have to be able to deliver what you like, your claim. So if you claim to be able to do something after somebody buys something, then you have to be able to deliver on that promise. So in terms of a business structure, that would be sales, marketing, that would be a part of operations, which is what we call product fulfillment. So you're now fulfilling the product that you sold, that you marketed. So
Okay.
that's what that is. From a whole, I guess, organizational chart sort of perspective, then that's what that would be.
So you have to you attend to that part too.
Yeah. So I work with the business from start to finish. So from the marketing, from getting people in the door, to making the sale, to fulfilling the deliverable. Yes.
Okay. So and this is done in the morning because the deliverable takes place at during the evening, right? Is
Yes,
okay.
it does.
So have we gotten to 12 o'clock yet? How many people feel like you've already heard a lot? Put it in the chat if you feel like you've already heard a lot. Like, does anybody see like that could be an all day thing? I want you to see what it actually entails so that you're not in the blind or and it's not foggy in the room. I want you to understand when it comes to business, there's business and there's busyness, right? So I want you to understand there's business and there's busyness. I asked the operations department. I asked the comptroller, right? The day-to-day manager and director of what takes place on the inside, on the back end, what happens between the hours of 9 and 12. That's it. Have we gotten to 12 yet?
Huh. Nice question. Nice. I think we sort of approaching that time. Around 12, 12, I might, do a rain check. Just stop. Um, just sort of see where everything is.
Hold on. I know you're in St. Lucia. So did you mean you go to the window and see if it's raining? What do you mean?
No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is I assess where I am. Like, it's almost, if you're driving, like people from the US, if you're driving from the East Coast to the West Coast, I'm assuming at some point, like, you stop at a gas station to sort of see where you are. Like, hey, am I even going in the right direction here?
Mm,
Right. So you have to, I guess, assess where you are at that time, in relation to your goals. Um,
mm.
because you have to have daily goals. You have to have some kind of daily goal, something that you pushing towards on a daily basis.
Hold on. Are you so I hear the word goal. Are you talking about a quota? Is there a daily quota, like a daily number?
Of course there is. Of course there is. You have to so guys, like I said, and it goes back to sales and marketing. You have to hit your sales, your number goals. And check this out. So I use number instead, because it's not only about sales, it's also about how many, for example, for my people here who have clients, how many clients have you touched? Meaning, how many clients have you contacted and see if they need anything? Like, that's super important too. That's so there's two sides to it. So there is,
Like keeping your fingers on the pulse.
yeah, I mean, yeah, people are people, like people have problems. So you, especially when you have a community, everybody's going through something. So you have to be able.
Say that one more time for all of my people in the back who are trying to create a community?
Yeah, I mean, so a community is it's complicated.
You said something. You said something though. You said everybody's what?
Everybody's going through something.
Hmm.
Like everybody's going through their own individual thing. So you have to help them, right? Despite whatever you have going on, right? That has still a
Hmm.
backseat. So you have to help the people in the community.
Hold
And
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, guys. Hold on. Because what I'm hearing here is that there's a tech operations, sales, marketing. We've talked about email lists. We've talked about funnelology. There's that side, and then you're saying there's a human side too.
Shan, everything is human. Everything is human. So yes, there it is tech, but at the end of the day, it's people. I mean, that's why you do it. That's the only reason you want sales, because, like, all right, for example, it always like makes you wonder, like,
Hold on for 1 second. Bobby had a comment. Could you put that comment on the screen, Mr. B?
tough stuff, right? Let me tell you
Welcome
something.
to the game. Welcome to the game.
Let me tell you
Your
something.
daily grind.
Let me tell you. Okay, imagine having a community with 50 people, 50 different personalities, 50 different this
I'm
assessment.
sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta. You know me, bro. It comes in my head. It gotta come out of my mouth. So hold on. Because I hear people all the time. I need clients, 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 clients. My
Yes.
question and what you're kind of bringing to light is, if you had the clients, what would you do with them? Real. Everybody wants clients. But if you really had the okay, put this in the chat. If you realize humbly that you just might need to learn some more things to be able to handle the clients. Let me ask this question. Who here thinks they're ready for 20? Put it in the chat if you think you're ready for 20. Put that, see, there's a comment there. Put that comment up, Mr. B. Look at what Mr. Bobby Jackson says.
He said more people than he could serve.
He said more clients than he could serve. Now, we taught Bobby branding. He went through branding like a leader. He became a magnet in the marketplace. He began to attract. He knew how to convert. He's a super high knight. So he's a gift to have. People love Bobby. And they come in and it breaks. It breaks because it takes more than the ability to close and attract to convert your ideas into a sustainable business model. And this is the part that I want to impact upon you and impress upon you during this segment. Because now we're moving into speaking like a leader on March 7th. And if you learn what we're going to teach you during that, listen, I'm going to show you how to speak to close. So that every moment you open your mouth, something's closing somewhere. Someone's closing somewhere and they want to work with you. So it's very imperative that you understand these different segments of your business so that when that happens, you don't say, I got it, and have your leadership broken, put to the test, and proven not effective. It's very important. I promise you, this one. We may entertain sometimes. We may give some information that you might laugh at, but this is deadly serious. Deadly serious. Based on this information, you will sink or you will swim. Okay, so we're at 12. You're doing the rain check. We're going to get to what happens during the afternoon. We got scalability. We got people saying they definitely not ready, and that's good because at least you know where you are, and that's humility, that's humbleness. And with humility and coachability, you're able to grow. That's what we're here for. Not to entertain, but to help you become the leader that you need to be to enable you to grow your business. It is not a 30-day, 90-day, 180-day process. This is leadership development. This is brand and business development. We're teaching something different than you're going to get from your MBA. You're not going to learn how to fill out an application here. You're going to learn how to apply stringent business principles that return revenue, relationships, and a phenomenal quality of life. But not just for you, for your clients and the people within your community. That's the most important part, guys. The most important part is what you might have never heard of. It's called UXI. And that's the user experience. The end user experience. On that note, let's go to a break, Mr. B. Take notes, guys. What I want you to do is I want you to really think about the competency that you bring to the game. What do you really bring to the marketplace? A lot of people have an education in one thing, but then they say they want to do something else. They'll watch somebody on YouTube, and because they watch them and they seem to be making an impact, they want to change their whole story, change their whole repertoire, and become that person. And what happens when you do that is you become inauthentic. You're no longer authentic, and you're trying to bring someone else's expertise out of you, but you don't know what that person went through to get that expertise. And now you're not speaking in your gift or your expertise. So you lose your momentum when you do that. You lose your impact. You lose your sweet spot. And now you're a stranger on a strange island talking about a strange topic. And that's why people look at you like you're strange. And when you ask for money, they really look at you strange. All right, guys. I hope you're learning some stuff. Put some flames in the chat for Mr. Junior Frederick for being so open and forthcoming. You know, put some flames in the chat for what he does, right? Because listen, guys, if you're on my side, like as the influencer, as the CEO, Junior is the kind of person that you're going to need to have, that you're going to need to find, that you're going to need to develop, for God's sakes. Just imagine if you can't find the person whose skill set is ready because you don't have the budget, and you have to start from copywriter, or you have to start from phenomenal individual or client, and develop the person to become the kind of person who can do what Junior's talking about doing. Because you're not always, this is not Burger King. You will not have it your way. And I promise you that they don't make Juniors on conveyor belts. He doesn't come like McDonald's. They don't put them together like that. They're not wired for this, what we're talking about here. You as the leader have to first learn all of those things and then make that your leadership has to be at such a level that you're able to transfer all of those skills and all of those learnings and why it's important. And that's the duplication process. That's the duplication process that you are going to have. Every single person watching this will have to go through if they ever want to be a real business owner and not just a business operator. So now we're at 1 o'clock, Mr. Frederick. And just, you know, I appreciate everything that you do, right? I always listen. That's one of the things you have to do is you have to show appreciation. As a business owner, you have to shower your people with good money and good appreciation. Mandatory. Or you'll find yourself by yourself, starting from scratch again and going back to the beginning. Your leadership will break, and then your toys will break. Your business will break. So, okay, so Junior, now we're at 1 o'clock. You did the rain check. What's next?
So let's see. So what's next would be, and thank you so much. I just want to say thank you for everybody who's um, put the flames in the chat. For the person who said thank you, you're welcome. I think what would be next is you want to get into more sales. Like I keep stressing sales. So you want to sort of finish the day strong. You want to finish the day strong. Like, and the reason I'm stressing sales because guys, if you're in business, you need sales. Like because when as Shaan talks, right? Always talk about the winter coming. When the winter comes, like you will need that. You will need that. So for me, I typically do that, or either if I'm not doing that, then I'm probably serving a client. Maybe a client has a challenge. I'm on the phone with them, um, handling any issues that they may have, whether it be life or business. Same difference to me. Life or business is the same. It detracts from them getting to their goal, whether it be a life challenge, whether it be a business challenge. It comes down to the same thing. So that's what I'm doing. If not there, then I'm typically doing some
Hold on,
other.
hold on. I'm sorry. Just for clarity's sake. We teach brand development. We coach leadership development. We help leaders become brands. We help individuals take their education, experience, and expertise and turn that into a bona fide influencer brand where they can make their yearly income monthly, their monthly income weekly, and their weekly income daily. We help them clarify, simplify, and amplify so that they can increase their productivity, profitability, and reliability, predictability of revenue, and client acquisition, and all of the different stuff that we've been talking about. But what I want to ask you is,
Yes.
did you just say that there's a life coaching component as well? What does that look like? I thought we did business. What are you talking about?
Like I said, it's all right. So the way we do it is you want to design your ideal. This is about building your ideal life. The only reason we're in business is because business is a vehicle that's gonna give us the life that we want. That's the only reason. But
I'm sorry. Rewind. Pull
all
that
right,
back. Say that one
you
more
know,
time.
the only reason we're in business is a vehicle that gets you to the life that you want. That's it.
Hold
Like
on. One more time, please, for the people in the back.
business is a vehicle that takes you to the life that you want. That's it. That's the only reason people in business. People don't really want to do business. People get into business because they feel like business is gonna give them the life that they want.
Okay.
Now, this is the key though. If a client has a life problem, even as a business coach, you want to handle the life problem first.
Mm.
Because if they're having a life problem, then that's going to impact their business. So it's already logical that you handle the life problems first. And people have all sorts of.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal insight. Phenomenal insight. Because I've heard a lot of people say, I don't do that. That's what I've heard. Oh, I teach this and they got a problem with that, and I don't do that. Like that's like sticky, and that's the stuff that I don't deal with. So go ahead and explain a little bit more if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Like I said, it's all about people at the end of the day. Like whether it be sales, marketing, whatever, product delivery, product fulfillment, it's all about people. That's the business. That's it. That's what it is. It's all about helping people.
Mm.
So if I'm doing something, somebody say, "Hey, and a lot of the time people don't tell you when they're going through something. So it really requires you.
Hold on. You saying people might not even know when they're going through something?
No, I mean you don't know. Okay, a lot of people they don't like they're not gonna call you like, "Hey, Shan, um, something just happened to me, or something just happened to my dog, or this happened to that." You don't know what's going on. So you always have to reach out and just check on people. Like I might just send somebody a message, say, "Hey, how you doing? Is everything okay? Is there any way I can help you? Do you need anything?" And then they'll tell you. But a lot of the time, so guys, for the people who want a community, imagine having 50 people all going through something that they don't tell you if they're going through something. Like,
Hold on. I'm sorry. Could this possibly be the reason that people aren't so fast to get results?
yeah, I mean, you see,
Hold on. The reason why I ask you is because we work with
uh,
business coaches, and a lot of them say that they just not doing the work, Sean. I give them the work and they just not doing it. They're not executing. They're not good clients. What happens really?
man, I don't believe there are any broken people. I don't,
Ah.
people are human. People go through things every day. The only reason they're in business is to get a better quality of life. So if you're a business coach, why wouldn't you assess something that's affecting their life? Like to me, that only makes sense.
So you're saying that there's nothing wrong with them.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the client.
All of my aspiring business owners and business consultants and business coaches and phenomenal advisors and financial and wizards, I need you to write this stuff down, man. For real, I need you to write this stuff down because this will be the difference between client acquisition and client retention and client success. See, we have a phenomenal client success record. If you go on YouTube and you look at the testimonials, we have a phenomenal client success record. And this is why we don't just attend to the business slice or the business segment because people are 360. They're not 120. They're not the 65%. If you try to deal with the 65% that you believe is your narrow lane of focus, you're going to miss out on the big picture, and you're going to miss out on what some people would call the big money and the lasting relationships and the sustainable business model. Go ahead, sir. I just have to like iron it in
Right,
because
right.
everybody's thinking about the next client, the next client, the next client, the next client. And let me tell you something. As long as you're thinking about the next client, the next client, the next client, the next client, you're going to always have to think about the next client, the next client, the next client, the next client. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to just leadership.
Hmm.
That's all it is. I mean, okay, as a leader, if you're in any kind of if you're a CEO, you're a leader. Doesn't matter what you call yourself. You go call yourself a business coach, whatever. You're a leader, and as a leader, you look out for people. I think that's all it is. To me, it's logical. I never knew before you said that. I literally didn't know that people who offer services don't look after people who buy from them. I didn't know that until you just said it.
Oh
So,
no. No, it's a
that's
it's a nah, listen. The model is this is the pen that you're buying from me. It's bought. Thank you. Next,
okay. Interesting.
next, and then next again. And this is why people don't experience the love factor in the business. because it's not a what we call a people-centric or person-oriented business. It's not a human orient. Not my beginning in education, and my because of that, my entire perspective throughout my life has been one that is human services oriented. I started my profession, my service. I have years and years of serving the underserved population in the state of New York, which is the most challenging place to do that work, right? And it's the most rewarding place to do that work, human services. I never got out of human services. I actually went deeper into human services. And that's what we're really having a conversation about. You call it business, you call it business growth and sustainability and all that good stuff in marketing and sales. It's really human services. If you notice, and this is what I wanted to tie together today, guys, and I don't lead, I promise you, I don't lead with this is the script, Junior. We're going to follow the script and we're going to end the show on leadership and human services. Never that. We don't do that. It would not be authentic. It would be against my morals, values, principles, ethics. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. That's not the way I do things. I don't teach scripts. I don't teach scripts. I teach ethics. I teach principles. And we arrived here deliberately, though, and intentionally, because this is the business that we run. The business that we run, think about the duplication of yourself that I talked about. I never told Junior we run a human services organization. I don't have to. Because it all boils down to leadership, like he said. So when you successfully duplicate yourself, you want the person that you're duplicating yourself into or imprinting yourself onto, you want them to get it. You want them to get it, and you want them to conduct themselves as you would conduct yourself, because they will be you in your stead. That's leadership. Until you've done that, you're not ready. Until you've done that, you will not be able to get out of the day-to-day operations of your business. You will be stuck. You will be under your business. And you may have more and more and more and more clients, but you will have more and more and more and more problems. And you will have more and more and more headaches. And you will have more and more nightmares. And this is why people stop. This is why people quit. Because they don't get it. They look at spreadsheets all day and they're like, I don't understand why the numbers aren't working. Because it's not about numbers.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Everybody write this down. I'm giving you, and by the way, let me just put it in context. We spent a lot of money to learn what we're giving you guys right now. Like, if I can't even tell you the amount, and I want you guys to write this down. More money doesn't solve money problems. Write that down. So if you're in business, let me repeat that. More money doesn't solve money problems. So if you're in business right now, let's say you're not okay. If you're in business and you're losing money, it could be you're losing clients because your leadership hasn't matured to that level as yet. You see what I'm saying? So in other words, you can't put more water in a bucket if the bucket has holes in it. It doesn't make sense how much water you put in the bucket if the bottom of the bucket has holes in it. So a lot of people, they get one client, they get two clients, right? They make money, they make 10K, 20K, it's insignificant the amount. They make it this month, next month they don't make anything. 2 months they don't make anything. Then the third month, then they make something again. Then it's like inconsistent. Like if I have this, like there's water in this right now. If I pour more water in this and there's a hole at the bottom, eventually it leaks out. And acquisition is one thing, but retention is another thing. It's a whole other game completely. So yes, you have to close. Yes, you need sales. But when you get the people, what do? Like, where do you put them? Where do you put them when you get them?
Hard, hard stop. I want to leave on that question. How many of you think that it would be very significant and very impactful if we were to do a part two to this? Because we're at that time. We're at that deadline now, guys. Right? This is what we teach. This is why the clients who submit to the process are successful. It's because coaching is a future focused, goal and action oriented process. It will not take you 5 days. It will not take you 5 weeks. It will not take you 5 months. You will still be a student of leadership, hopefully after 5 years, because if not, you're going to undo everything that it took you the 5 years to build. Okay, I'm gonna end on this note, right? Before we go. Lack of leadership is like the feds. Bad leadership is like the federales. It will take in 10 minutes what it took you 10 years to build. I'm going to leave on that note. We'll be back with part two next week. Junior, thank you so much. And listen, guys, begin and end and follow through the whole entire time on leadership. You hear us talk about leadership. You hear us talk about speaking and branding and coaching and closing and consulting. And these things we all do. And these things we do, all of them. But we always do them in the context of leadership. Let's grow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Now, listen, if you're inclined, tomorrow we're on the Leadership Leverage community call at 7. And we will not be talking about business operations. We will be talking about building your speaking brand so that you can close from the stage. Let's grow.